Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing T Street. This morning's topic, y'all, has been heavily weighting WEIGHTING and maybe even WAITING on me. Today's topic, divorcing your worth from your work. The more interviews I've been doing lately, the more I've really started to just process internally, who am I? And externally, who am I? Who is T? And as I've done a lot of work and contemplation, I'm really clear that my worth is not determined by my work. Today's coffee mug says, the world needs who God made you to be. Oftentimes we get it confused. We get caught up and we think that it's really about the things that we do, and our worth is never that. We live in a world that constantly tries to marry our value to our productivity. The first question people ask is not who are you, but what do you do? We live in such a transactional world. And if we're not careful, we start believing that our worth rises and falls with our wins, our titles, our salaries, our followers, or our accomplishments. But here's the truth, your work is something you do, your worth is who you are. When you marry your worth to your work, every failure feels like an identity crisis. But when you divorce them, you gain freedom. I'm going to give us three ways to divorce our worth from our work. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Miss Woods, Alana, Rhonda. I'm going to talk about the three ways that we can divorce our worth from our work. Stop measuring your value by your output. Many of us were taught that our value comes from what we produce. If we succeed, we feel worthy. Think about this. We pass these notions on to our kids. If they get A's, they're worthy. If they get C's, they're not. If we fail, we feel like we are the failure. But productivity, y'all, it's not our identity. Your job can change, your platform can grow or shrink, but your value should not fluctuate with your performance. A bad day at work does not make you a bad person. A failed project does not make you a failure. You can lose a position without losing your purpose. I said it. You can lose a position without losing your purpose. If all of who you are is affixed to your purpose and your title, I'm a speaker, I'm a deacon, I'm a minister, I'm a CEO. If all of who you are is affixed to that label, if that label is suddenly not in front of your name or behind your name, it can cause identity crisis. So it's important to know that your worth and your work are not the same thing. Recognize that work is what you do, it's not who you are. Work is a role you play in a particular season or for a particular period of time. You might be a leader today and a learner tomorrow. I might be on the stage one year and I might be behind the scenes the next. But none of those roles define my intrinsic value. When people wrap their identity in their work, retirement, y'all, becomes devastating because suddenly they don't have work as an identifier of their identity. Job loss, if all you are is your job, it will crush you. And transitions, they feel like a personal collapse. My world is falling apart. Why? Because they built their identity on something that is temporary or temporal. Your job is an assignment, your worth is permanent. Assignments change, identity doesn't. Now, that's a fact. Number three, anchor your worth in something deeper than achievement. If your worth comes from applause, you'll always be chasing the next standing ovation. But applause fades. Promotions, they change. awards, they gather dust. Real freedom comes when your worth is anchored in something deeper than achievement. Your character, your humanity, your calling. When you understand your worth, you really understand that it is intrinsic, that your work is not that. Your worth is intrinsic. Work becomes healthier. Your work, you stop working for validation and you start working from purpose. You stop proving yourself and you start expressing yourself. When you know your worth, work stops being your master and becomes your mission. I'm gonna give that to y'all again because I liked it. When you know your worth, work stops becoming your master and becomes your mission. Your work is important, it contributes. My work is important, it brings food in my house, it creates impact. I love what I get to do, it matters, but it is not my measuring stick as who I am as a human being. I'm more than my resume. I'm more than the things I produce. I'm more than the planes I step on. I'm more than the stages I walk onto. I'm more than any title. I'm more than amazing. So today, make a healthy decision. Divorce your worth from your work. Because when your value is secure, you can work without losing yourself in the process. And that's the kind of freedom that allows you to do your best without forgetting who you are. Your work may explain what you do, but it will never define who you are. I'm an international speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm a consultant. I'm a mom. I'm an aunt. I'm a grandma. I'm a lot of titles. I'm a minister. I'm a teacher. But those are all titles. At the core of who I am is a person who came here with purpose. And if I never had a title, God says I still have worth. So I don't know who needed this message this morning, but your worth and your work are not the same thing. Divorce yourself from your work and your worth. If I lose my job tomorrow, God says I still have worth. So I came by to tell somebody today these three things. Stop measuring your value by your output. Recognize that your work is what you do, it's not who you are. And anchor your worth in something far deeper than your achievement. You better know who God says that you are because the applause always fades. And just because it fades doesn't mean that your worth does. I'm the amazing T Street, but y'all already know there's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me. That's not in each and every one of you. So today I invite you to divorce your worth from your work. Have an amazing, amazing day.